Well, it's a call for Hollywood to help. The Pakistani doctor who helped the CIA track down Usama bin Laden remains in prison in Pakistan. And our next guests say it's time for Oscar nominees to come to his rescue.
Hand on your pocket!
Robert and Kira Lorsch are asking the stars of Zero Dark 30 and other films to put the spotlight on this doctor and his imprisonment tomorrow at the Oscars and help set him free. Joining us now, Robert and Kira Lorsch. Bob and Kira, thanks a lot for joining us. You took out an ad, you paid for an ad in the Hollywood Reporter that made the point that this doctor, Dr. Afridi, who is being held and apparently tortured by the Pakistanis, is one of the main reasons we were able to kill Osama bin Laden. And you put it this way: who will stand up to help America next time if this is how we treat our friends? Do you expect that stars accepting Oscars tomorrow night in Hollywood will mention Dr. Afridi?
That's clearly the objective. Less than 10 days ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at a congressional briefing on health care, which you've been talking about so much this morning, for personal health records with my medical records. And I was invited into a room where they were talking about a Dr. Afridi. And I had no idea who Dr. Afridi was, and I started asking questions, and I took out my PDA, and I started Googling Dr. Afridi, and I was just shocked to find out how this man who gave his life, gave up his relationship with his family, is imprisoned, being tortured on a regular basis, is simply left behind. And when asked if I had any ideas, I said, we're a week from the Oscars. Zero Dark 30 is a centerpiece of the Oscars. And why not mobilize the talent in all the Best Picture films to really call an action to a campaign which could be the very reason that they're actually there, or clearly the very reason that Zero Dark 30 was even made, because of pinpointing Osama bin Laden.
You call him the real star of that film. This is such a great idea. And of course, we hope that it works. But why has it fallen to Hollywood to advocate on behalf of Dr. Afridi? He helped the United States in this critical task. Where's the State Department? Where's the president demanding his release from a Pakistani jail?
Well, there are things being done, but when Hollywood talks, people listen. We're interested in what Jessica Chastain is wearing on the red carpet or what Catherine Bigelow has to say. So I think it just brings a whole new audience. I mean, who would have thought of or ever heard of Darfur before George Clooney started mentioning it at events like the Oscars? So it's just calling on a whole new, larger voice to get the hard-hitting news out there to the mainstream.
And you've also got an audience that may not be as focused on world events and situations like this, which sometimes fall under the radar. But when it comes to the Oscars, almost nothing falls under the radar.
So this is such a great idea. Have you received any buy-in from actors? Are you aware of anybody planning to include comments about Dr. Afridi in his or her remarks?
Well, it is Oscar weekend. We're up early after a late night out. We were at the Women in Film Oscar party last night, hosted by Octavia Spencer, and lots of red carpet, lots of nominees, and we had some really nice people come up saying, "Oh, what is this ribbon that you're wearing?" And like Jackie Weaver, who's a nominee for Silver Linings Playbook, she took a ribbon. We also spoke with Stacey Sher, who's nominated for Best Picture for Django Unchained, and in our ad, she said, "Oh, I loved your ad. You said Afridi Unchained, and we really love what you're doing."
So the idea here was to actually bring all the nominees together by taking all the pictures and all the titles and almost creating a parody, but in a sense it's a parody that's a cry to get anybody who gets a moment in the limelight to walk out there, and when the camera's in front of them or the microphone's in front of them on the red carpet, make that plea to get America behind freeing Dr. Afridi. And when you look at the sheer size of the audience, and it's just a unique opportunity, and somebody had to do it. And this has been 10 days, and the website freeafridi.com is getting thousands of email addresses, people writing, asking what they can do, wanting to support Dr. Afridi, and all they do is they write their congressman, write the State Department, get behind the effort. And surely the pressure from a program of the size and scope and scale of the Academy Awards can make a difference if we all pull together.
And finally, just to be totally clear, you're just doing this because you think it's the right thing. You're not a professional human rights activist. You're in the healthcare business, I think. This is just something that you think ought to happen.
We have a company by the name of MMR Global. We were in Washington for a completely different reason. I had spent basically 3 or 4 months setting up a presentation to a congressional oversight committee on some of the very subjects that you talked about on the show this morning, like duplicate testing and the waste of resources in healthcare. And what happened was I heard the story, and I called Kira, and her Valentine's card and her Valentine's dinner was checking into a hotel in New York and writing this ad, which just flowed and started this campaign.